So you guys, today I am testing a friend's theory out. I have been down this direction. As you can see, I'm very close to the highway. I have been searching the ditches in the highway, the culverts that go underneath it, between the second Butte Valley Road, which leads to Cottonwood Canyon, which leads into the valley that I've been searching for Aidan Clune in. So my friend's theory is this. While trackers followed Aidan, and you guys, you have to see this. From here, it's a pretty good vantage point. So from the tip of Palomino Ridge, he went over this direction, and where that big opening is in the mountain there, he didn't go into that opening. He went over the mountain to the right of it and into that valley that you guys have seen that I've been searching for Aidan in. So my friend's theory is this. While the trackers were tracking Aidan's tracks over this mountain and everything, there was people that were ahead of the trackers on these type of trails like this. And you guys, these type of trails, they're all over the place up here. My friend's theory is this, that night he saw how far he was, got right on the roads because he could see anything coming at night. And that would be the only way he could put a lot of distance between where we found his shoes and all the way back down here on the highway barefooted. From what I understand, Aidan went barefooted quite a bit. His mom would have him ground to the planet by taking his shoes off and walking. So if he did that a lot, I don't know how tough his feet were. But if he stayed on this stuff that Harper and I are on, he would be fine staying on what I call the roads. You guys would call them trails. But if he got into this, look, and stepped on this shad scale, sagebrush, greasewood, it would be very damaging to his feet. But if he stayed on trails, and you guys, this is a poor trail. There's ones in here that make this, they look like a highway compared to this. So her theory is, while those guys were tracking, people were ahead in vehicles, trucks, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, whatever. They could have run his barefoot tracks over that were on the road enough to where they wouldn't be noticed. And he walked out here, started back towards his truck, and ran out of steam and laid down somewhere. And that's what I'm checking now. You guys, I have gridded, probably searched more time than anybody, any one person up there in those hills. And how I found his shoes was, I knew there was a phone ping at 8:17 at night. So anytime I got a phone ping, we would do our grid searches. And that's how we came across his shoes. I had no idea that his last prints were right up the hill. I didn't have a GPS, a Garmin, or anything to show me where any of that was, but I went under what I knew was positive, and that was his last phone ping between 60 to 65 miles due south of the Wells Tower. So that's how we located the shoes. This person whose theory about that is very plausible. I mean, could he have done that? He walked in here over the terrain, and I think when you go over the mountains and everything and into there, it's got to be between, I'm guessing 15 to 20 miles by the time you're walking, weaving in and out, going up and over because of terrain. It's even further and more exhausting going up and over hills. And he walked that. And how fast? I don't know. People say 1 mile an hour. I tend to think that Aidan was probably a lot faster than that, especially if he was on roads. What I call the roads. You can walk 3 miles an hour on the roads. He very well could have got in there a lot earlier than what we think and spent a lot of time putting tracks everywhere. But we do know about the phone ping at 8:17 at night. So I put myself in his shoes. What would I do? And I think her theory is very plausible. I've been up on that hill, not during the dark, but during the day, and you can see the highway. Definitely know where it's at. So his shortest way out would have been straight out Cottonwood Canyon, due east, straight to the highway here. And then he would have started looking for his truck, which means he would have came this direction back up the highway, because his truck was another I guess 2 to 3 miles that direction. And is that plausible? Yes. Would someone see him at 12, 1 o'clock at night if he walked out of those hills, which I believe he could in about 4 hours if he was on the roads? That is plausible. She asked me, and I said, yes, it could happen. So, how would he avoid being seen on the highway? You see the lights, just go hide off in the ditch till they go by, and then continue on. Was Aiden staying off roads and trying to avoid somebody, you guys? I don't know. I do not know. But I'm going along with other people's theories because mine worked to find the shoes. I don't know if it's going to work to find him. I'm hoping it will. But you guys, I'm just showing you this type of stuff that's out here. That is called shad scale. And believe it or not, cows out here, see all the thorns on it? Cows out here use their lips and they keep the thorns out and eat the scale, which is this. It looks like scales on shad. That's why it's called shad scale. But if you were to step on that, it would hurt. Same with the sagebrush. See? And that would stop you very fast. I've been on the side of the mountain up there. There's lots of stuff like this and greasewood and these other bushes that look like low bush currant, but they're not. I don't think he went up and over barefooted. I think most logical, if he's not in those woods, is my friend's assumption that he would have walked right on the roads and his track covered up by searchers that were ahead of the trackers. And you guys, I don't know for sure whether there were searchers ahead of the trackers. I have no idea. But given the amount of people that were looking for him at first, there was over 1,800 man hours put in. Is it possible? Yes. Is it plausible? Yes. Is it probable? Not as much as him being up in the hills, but like I said, I'm going to work the theories because I haven't found him yet. And this person whose theory this is has found a lot more people than I have. Like she says, she uses maps and the math. So that's more than a knuckle dragger like me thinks, but I'm really good at getting out here and doing the I will walk and look. And that means on the hills and the trees, down here on the desert flats, along the highway, whatever it takes to find you, Aiden. And you guys, I'm going to come clean on something. At first, I wasn't so sure that I was going to come back and look for Aiden for some personal reasons. But when I saw his aunt in Wells and nobody else had showed up, and how desperate that family is to find him, regardless of what you people may have heard and been told by bullshit YouTubers. I have personally seen Amy on more than 2 occasions, more than 2, and she has spent a lot of time out here looking for her son. And I have seen her after we come off the mountain. And I know that feeling. I really do. I know that feeling and the look she had from not finding him. And I'm going to keep looking. You guys, this is our backyard. And this is our backyard, and there's kids that are missing. Now, I see Aiden as a kid. I don't care how you guys, oh, he's 19. Well, I kind of see him as a kid. I have adult children of my own, and they're always going to be your children, no matter what. No matter what age they are. And no matter what, like I said. So, what is this? So it's kind of a walk and talk right now, you guys, because I'm by myself with Harper. And she's getting her exercise in today. I'm not going to push her too far. We probably did, about 3 miles so far because I'm doing, well, probably more than that, but there are spots where you can drive and see the ditch is really clean, and then when I get into the brushy areas I stop and walk them. So about 3 miles, because we've been doing both sides of the highway. If the theory is correct, I'm not going to stick to one side of the highway. I definitely look on both sides, especially if he was over there trying to hitchhike. Who knows? I don't know. That's the whole thing. If I did, I'd go there. One thing that I learned about when I was looking for Dylan Rounds was don't go with the theories, just search. And I can tell you guys this, had I listened to this person with Dylan Rounds, I probably would have been a lot closer. Because her whole theory concerning him was absolutely correct. And you guys, I've never been back to what I call where his remains were dumped. I don't care what Brenner did. She was absolutely right about everything. She said he'd be close, more than likely, where he could see what was going on, and that he wouldn't have put a whole lot of work into it. And she was absolutely correct about all of it. And I don't know if he was on the property at the grain shed. I don't know if he was out by Governor Springs. I don't know. I haven't been back there. I do know people that have, but I myself haven't. I haven't asked them. So one of the reasons I'm going a little bit far off the highway, you guys, if remains were near the highway, and anyone that lives in Nevada can attest to this, when rabbits are run over or coyote or deer is hit, you have to avoid ravens too. They're hopping off what we call the, what's it called, carrion. So basically it's meat that has been spoiled from exposure. And if he was anywhere really close to the highway, we would have seen ravens, I'm sure. And I'm sure the searchers along the highway would have. Now, whether ravens are afraid of human remains, because they're fairly smart. Well, not fairly smart. Ravens are very smart. I don't know if they would avoid them or not. I tend to think that they would not avoid them. So that would mean he would have to be a little distance off the highway, or they would have seen what I call a raven cloud. And you guys, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. But I believe her theory is fairly solid. I think it would be more apt that if he did walk out of that canyon back this direction, that he's probably somewhere between here and there would be more logical, but I don't know. I don't know. Fisher has said that you would not believe the stuff that he went over, and I believe Fisher. I've known Doug for years. One time Doug chased me way back in the day and I got away. And he caught up with me the next day. And he didn't arrest me. He's a good guy. And it was just one of those things. And you know, people can say a lot of things contrary to popular belief and things that people said. I've never been involved in meth. Did I break the law with marijuana back in the day? So many times, you guys. I didn't even care. Didn't even care what anyone thought, including the cops, about weed, because I knew it was not a bad thing. Maybe for some people it is that can't afford the brain cells, but for some people it's a massive relief of pain and mood swing. Keeps me level and grounded. Certainly does, and I don't care what anyone says concerning that. Another thing is, I've been on a pain management program for years, and they have no problem at all with me using marijuana because of how much less pain medication that I use. And proof is in the pudding. You guys, this is why I have such a bad attitude about that. I've been in front of a judge in Utah back in the day when it was illegal, and I knew it was illegal. I tried to explain what I just explained to you to her, and she narrowed her eyes, looked at me, and wanted to know who my doctor was. And I looked right at her, narrowed my eyes, and said, that's patient-physician privilege. You're not even allowed to ask me that. And in open court, all right, Mr. Smartass, that's what she said to me. 6 months. And this was back in the old days when the jail was downtown in Salt Lake, and I'm telling you, that place was as bad as any jails you see anywhere. And while they're leading me to jail, you go underneath, I think it was, I don't know what street, I don't remember. I think it was 2nd East. The bailiff looks at me. Get out, that's a rat's nest. I don't want her near it. The bailiff looks at me and goes, good job, fuck that bitch. And this was her bailiff. At the end of, and I found this out through Discovery because I was released about 2 days later. They didn't even finish processing me out of quarantine. When you go to a county jail in Utah, they quarantine you for 2 days. And you guys, I wholeheartedly believe in the Lord, and you can believe this story or not. Sitting in that jail, thinking I'm going to do 6 months, so I know I got to get my mind right. And I pray, and I don't hear a voice, but I get the feeling in my heart, mind, and soul to look at the wall. And when I look at the wall, there's a 4-letter word, and it says hour, H-O-U-R. I kind of seemed dumbfounded. And about 50 minutes later, one of the jailers, Corbin, roll out. I'm thinking, what? One of my attorney friends got wind of what happened, pulled up the court, because they video the court in Utah, showed another judge what this judge had done, and he was smart. He wanted to avoid the lawsuit. He released me immediately. And you guys can think what you want, coincidence, this or that. I wholeheartedly believe in God, and Jesus was his son, and he can put the armor of God on you. I wholeheartedly believe that with my heart, mind, and soul. See, you guys, there's all sorts of open areas in here. See these tracks? They're probably a year old. And you guys, I'm gonna comb this. See the open areas, as you can see up there. So I've just combed the ditch up there because you can pretty much see into the sagebrush. But as I get closer, I'll comb the trees again. And am I beyond going to the mouth of that canyon and retracing the steps backwards, or trying to, or seeing which way I would go if I was him? No, I'm not beyond doing that. Like I said, whatever it takes. If you guys have seen the look on Amy's face when she comes off of this mountain, you would do it too. That's all I'm going to say. And like I said, contrary to what some YouTubers have said, I can tell that she loves her son and that it hurts her a lot to have to walk off of this mountain without him. I think she's accepted the fact that he's probably not with us anymore, and I hope I'm wrong about that. I really do. But she deserves to have him back. Any part, anything. And that's true with anyone that has missing children. Anyone. You guys, I see these bleached like wood under trees all the time from a distance. And it makes you jump every time. And it ends up being bleached roots to a juniper tree or just sun-bleached wood laying there. And you guys, I know if we're spotting things like that, we're spotting tin cans 40 feet away from us out in the trees that have been there for 40 years, rotted and rusted. If he's close, we're going to find him. There's not a doubt in my mind. And like I said, today is Memorial Day. Phyllis wanted to sleep in, so she said wholeheartedly go out and test my friend's theory, since I'm not going too far off the highway or up in the mountains. Do I feel like going up there? Yes, but my car would never make it. And when I tell Phyllis I won't do something like that, I won't. And we have our personal reasons for that. Phyllis lost her first husband, who she loved a lot. His name was George. And she loved him a lot. And she lost him in an airplane accident. He was a pilot. And if she asked me not to do something like that, I'm not going to do it, because I'm not going to put her losing two people she loved in her life to an accident. Not going to do that to her. Okay, we're going to kind of head back to the opening. I feel confident that he's probably not right near the highway here. You guys, I'm sorry if my videos are boring as far as watching them, especially when I'm out in the trees, but searching is a tedious thing. It's not a fast thing, it's very tedious, and I understand people that search with me, they kind of get bothered by walking right by the same flyers 10 and 15 feet away, but in order to find him, if he's in that forest, that's exactly what we have to do. I'm not going to wander around and not keep track of where I've been and hopefully they'll hit him type thing. You know, you have to use some logic and a little bit of math. Stop, Harper. Stop. Stay. Don't go. Stay. I'm going to look at this coat. So this, oh, they're pants, aren't they? Big boy pants. Look at that, Harper. I could probably sleep in those. Come on, girl. And you guys, when I tell you about sun-bleached wood from a distance, how it looks like it could be trash like this along the highway. It's everywhere. My theory about that is we have in Nevada, they're not chain gangs, so to speak. Come on, Harper, this way. We're going to over here. But they have prisoners that were non-violent, most of them drug offenders, that are able to do stuff like build these fences here along the highway. I don't know why they just don't use them to clean up the side of the highway. And they probably do. But there's a lot of it that needs to be done here. Okay, going back under the fence. Wait for me, Harper. Wait for me. Ugh. This is hard, you guys. I'm glad this bottom smooth wire. Stay, Harp. I hang on to her next to the highway. I'm not going to take a chance with my do-a-do. Come on. She's a happy dog. She got to go. After yesterday, her watching Pebbles go, she was like pushing me like she's going no matter what today. So it's good that we're not going very far. And we're in the car. We're doing a highway search today. So Harper gets to go. So you guys, we are going to, look at this. So we are going to pack it up, move up the highway a little bit, continue the search. Thank you for watching.